Yo, it's your boy, LJ Chaplin, with Lady Siza, bringing to you Chilling with the Chaplins, where we deep dive, giving you practical concepts in ministry, business, relationship, and personal development. So, we can take control of our life. Let's go, and let's get it started. Welcome to Chilling with the Chaplins. I'm LJ with my lovely wife, Lady Siza. Yes. So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
Now, most of you probably recognize the speech that we recited from. And today we celebrate a great man who fought and risked his life for the equality and injustice for Black people in America. And the man that we celebrate on today, where his birthday was on Monday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes. And, you know, it's so beautiful to actually celebrate such a hero in such a time, a legend, an icon who left a footprint with the likes of the Nelson Mandelas of this time in South Africa. It's so unfortunate, though, that knowing that what they did to get us to a point where we are, where they've given us freedom, but we don't take this freedom seriously. We've come to take it for granted.
Yes.
You know, as if we owed to be free, as if we deserve to be free, not understanding so many lives that were lost due to the freedom that we have today.
Yes, true.
But the beautiful part is that this is not just America.
Yes.
This is South Africa as well, and other countries that we know of, that people laid down their lives for us to enjoy what we now call freedom, what we now call democracy. So I think today what we're going to be discussing is so right, where we talking about there is no free lunch. Because there isn't.
No free lunch.
What's your take maybe on that?
Yes, no free lunch. Now, when I think of that word, that phrase, no free lunch, all I was able to think of was the free lunches that we get in school.
Okay.
You know, and because, when we was in school growing up, some of us look forward to that free lunch.
Yeah.
But I would ask the question, is it really free?
No.
Because even though the students that was able to get the free lunch, but somebody had to pay for it.
Yes.
It came out of somebody's pocket.
Of course. So was it really free?
Yeah. And so that's why, I say no free lunches. Because sometimes in society, and Black people, I'm Black, so I can talk about Black people.
Right.
A lot of time we look for leftovers.
Yes.
We look for freebies.
Discounts.
You know, and we take life for granted. We feel like it's owed to us.
We actually live in a generation that's privileged, that feels like they are owed to live.
Yeah. And so, you know, not realizing, you know, we could talk about everything else. We could talk about what they do to Black people. But if you don't do nothing about it, if you're looking for the government to support you, what you think they're going to give you back? Because anything worth something, there's a price behind it.
And it's usually not a cheap price.
And it's not and if you want success costs. Whether it's your money, whether it's money, whether it's time, or whether it's energy, it still costs.
For freedom.
Yeah, for freedom. And so if you're looking for leftovers, you ain't gonna get it.
Well, you get it, but somebody pays for it.
Somebody pays for it.
And a good example it would be, you know, if I have a friend takes me out for lunch, and they say it's on me. They pay for it. It actually was not a free lunch. Somebody paid for that lunch to happen. So, and we need to take things like that seriously and be very careful with such things. If I could just explain where the phrase "there's no free lunch" come from.
Okay.
What it really means. It means you don't get something for nothing. You can't get something for nothing. There's a price, like you said, that it needs to be paid. Or there's for anything that one receives for free, it will be paid for in one way or the other. Like the school lunches you're talking about. Who pays for that?
Yeah, the taxpayers.
Exactly. So somebody is paying for the bill. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, and I want to bring a scripture because I love this, because David had an opportunity to receive a gift.
Right.
When the angel came to destroy the children of Israel, and he was moved to go down to Oman to get a threshing floor, so that he could pray at the spot where the angel was going to attack him. And the person he was going to get the threshing floor from wanted to give it to him.
For free.
For free, because that was David, you know, the king. That was David.
Yeah.
And
but David understood
the value
of a cost.
He understood the value of not taking it for free. Because he probably realized if I take this for free, then he might want something in return for free.
Come on now, you owe them.
You owe them.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna owe the person.
Yes. And so David said, no. He refused to accept his gift.
Yes.
But he said, this thing right here, it costs something.
Yes.
It costs us our life.
Right.
And when I think about Dr. Martin Luther King, and we're not in Black History Month
yet,
but all the
That's coming
people,
next month.
yes, but all the people that risk their life for Black people, it costs something.
Right.
For the freedom that we had today,
that we enjoy.
And if you really pay attention to the word freedom, because the first 4 letters of freedom is free.
Yeah.
And people, and it's not, freedom is not free, but there's a cost,
a huge price.
A huge price. And so for us to just not work for it, for us not to pick up the mantle,
come on,
for the price that was paid,
yes,
for the equality and the little justice we have today.
Underline little. But we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Gotta start somewhere.
But we came a long ways.
Mighty long way.
Mighty long ways.
If you think about the 400 years
of slavery.
Wasn't the Israelites in slavery for
400 years.
My God.
400 years.
That just came to my mind.
Black
Americans were in slavery for 400 years.
And so for us to not pick up the mantle, for us to be lazy, for us not to work for us not to feel like we don't have to go to school.
We're being old.
We don't have to do it. And that's why a lot of
Social Security when you're able. I understand people who are not able.
Yeah.
But when you're able and you're okay with living off Social Security, now that's a problem.
That's a problem. And so we had to realize the cost that was paid for the freedom that we have.
Yes.
Because we can blame everybody else that come to America.
Yeah.
And we want to blame, they taking our opportunity. They're not taking our opportunity. You're not seeing the opportunity.
I love that.
You in this country, you born in this country, you raised in this country,
Have
and you
all
don't have all the resources and have all the opportunity, and you don't see the opportunity. You wasted it on the street. You wasted it on the corner. You wasted it watching TV, watching Maury. You wasted it on Netflix. You wasted it on hanging out and messing with different women or different men and having different children. You wasting your life. And you want to blame others that come to this country because they see the opportunity that they can receive if they come to the United States.
My God.
And you in America and you don't even see the own freedom. You don't even see the own opportunity. But we want to blame everybody else.
We want to blame everybody else.
And so if you want success, if you want a better life, you got to understand that the life that you deserve, because you do deserve it, the life that you want, it costs.
A lot.
It costs. It costs your sweat. It costs sweat equity. It costs grinding out every day. It costs not giving up on yourself. It costs something. And so when you are going through the trials and tribulations, understand it costs something to achieve your goals and to achieve the life that you want. It costs something. See, because you got to realize that we don't pay for, we don't perceive it as value.
Yes.
And that's why now with coaches and with different people, they throw out this word right now.
You gotta have the skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
Yeah.
Because they understand if you don't pay for it, you won't have value in it.
And a good example is the mastermind that we just started last week. You know how
which was a great session, by the way.
Oh, well, my God, it was really good.
It was really good.
I wish you would have signed up. So definitely sign up for the next one because Pastor or LJ is giving it out for free for now. Not because he doesn't see the value that is over $500 for that mastermind, but because he wanted to give back. Yes. He wanted to pay forward somehow to people and show that whatever that we've been sharing, you know, there are resources out there to help you become a better person.
Yes.
But guess what? Very few people signed up because it was, in brackets, for free. But it actually was not for free. LJ spent thousands of dollars actually qualifying to be a coaching, speaking trainer by the John Maxwell team. You know, and the time that you put in preparation for that's time, because time is money. You know, but because you're not charging, they take it for granted that, it means nothing. You lost out.
You lost out.
Because it means a lot. And the people that have attended, they enjoyed the session last week so much that they were actually asking on the first day to have it extended for longer.
Yeah. Why was 6 weeks and not 15 weeks?
You know, and that just shows you that those who attended really valued what they got out of it. So going back to our point, there is no free lunch, because when it is free, people take it for granted.
They don't value it.
They don't value it.
And so that's the reason why people say you gotta have skin in the game.
Yes.
Because they understand, if you got something to lose, you gotta stick it out.
Yeah.
You know, and so even like when you have courses and you have different things, a lot of times if you didn't pay for it, you're not gonna complete the course.
You know what we call it in our business? You know, it's called rescuing.
Mm-hmm.
And suffered.
lot.
I made my business suffer a lot by rescuing people.
Mm.
In fact, everybody that I've rescued, meaning I've bought startup stock for, they're no longer in the business. Most of them never returned the money that I said, when once you get your profit, return it, because I can't just give away our money like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who I actually sponsored and 100% and said, keep the money, they didn't come back and continue with the business. Guess what? Because they didn't see the value. If I could give it to them for free, which it wasn't really for free, I forfeited money out of that. But because they didn't sweat for that startup.
That's where equity.
Right. So they never turned up for meetings. They didn't see the value in sticking around. So really, I realized, unfortunately, and I learned the hard way, the hard way, that have them see the value in whatever that you're offering them by them actually fighting for
and paying for it.
Right.
Even if it's a little bit, having them paying for it, having them paying something that they will see value in it. And it can be a little something, because if it's just a little something, if it's not hurting them, then they still won't see value. They don't.
You know what this?
I love that.
I wanna bring this, and you're gonna love this. That's why Africans and Indians believe in lobola, and Indians call it dowry. Lobola, because when you pay that lobola or dowry for your bride, you will value her.
Yes.
Because that's why you find that there's very low divorce rates in African countries, because the groom thinks, oh my God, I paid so much money for this woman, I cannot just lose her like that.
You're gonna fight for it.
I'm gonna fight for her. Can you imagine the money that you paid towards my lobola, and then you just divorce me, or I divorce you, or whatever the case is? You're gonna feel
you're like, no.
I work hard to
exactly.
have her as my bride, so I'm not just gonna let it go like that. But when you just get engaged and get married without any value attached to it, it's easy for you to just let it go. You'll find another one.
With a little struggle, when you're going through a little struggle, it's just easy to let it go.
It's not worth fighting for, because there's no sweat equity involved.
Sweat equity.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. So I just want to actually just go in that this is actually in the academia world, it's actually the number 40 law in the Robert Greene's law of power. There's no free lunch. It basically means what I mentioned in the beginning, that do not take anything offered to you for free or at a discount. And why is that? Because by paying, you free yourself of having obligation to the person who did you the favor and gifted you with something of value, right? And because when the saying goes, there's no free lunch, it basically means that you owe somebody a favor in return because they've done for you that cost value. I'll give you a good example again. A Christmas gift. If somebody is laughing because his family stopped buying him Christmas gift for this exact reason. Years after years after years, they exchanged gifts and gave him gifts as well, but he never gave them anything in return. Guess what? They stopped giving him gifts because there is no free lunch. And there is always that assumption that if I'm going to give you something, you're going to give me something back. And that's why I said to my family and friends, don't give me any gifts.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I'm okay. I said the same thing.
Because I know that, my husband is born on Christmas Day. I cannot afford spoiling him and then thinking of family and friends that I have to buy gifts for, because I know if they buy me something, I'm going to give something back.
Yeah. So, and that's why, because I was worrying about, that wasn't important because I was trying to build something.
Right.
So I didn't. So I'm like, please don't. I was used to tell them, I'm not worrying about a gift. Right. Because I knew I wasn't gonna get you a gift.
Yeah.
So I used to tell them, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate it, but I'm good. And so, because I knew I was gonna do it, because I was trying to build something. I was working towards something.
Whatever your reason was, the main point is that there is always an expectation.
Expectations.
So you're always going to owe somebody.
Even when even when your intentions is good, you're still expecting something in return.
Yeah, you might be genuine in doing it, but when somebody doesn't return the favor, then you're like, oh, I think I'm being used here. Or I think, why am I always the one giving and I'm not getting in return?
Yeah.
So think about that. If somebody keeps giving you and you're saying, thank you, how about you also return the favor one day? You don't owe them, but it's just a nice way of saying thank you back when you do it back. When somebody does something nice for you, they say, you owe me? Because it wasn't really out of nothing.
Yes.
They were expecting a favor back from you.
And even in the church, it's like that in the church. And it's sad because you got some people that do have a good heart and they're always giving. They go to other people's churches. They put in other people's offering. They bring their members to the church. And they don't return the favor back unto them. They don't, when they come to their church, they don't leave an offering. And that's why a lot of times you see people don't want to fellowship with other churches.
Because they feel like they're being used.
They feel like they're being used. Because they feel like I do all I can in the church. And that's why you see sometimes churches don't get it. It's not coming together.
But it's a sad expectation.
Yeah, very sad expectation.
Because some churches really don't have. You bring in $500. My church doesn't really make the $500, for example. And how do I then bring it forth to you? And the sad part is that we've come to become a nation who expect tit for tat.
Yes, and that's not good because if you're gonna do it from your heart and not expecting anything. And
but expect that God will bring it back to you in one way or the other.
Don't expect to get it back from the same individuals. If you're gonna just know whatever you're giving if you're giving something to somebody, then do it from the heart and not expect, because when you like a Christian or a saved person like myself, I don't expect, because I don't know where my blessing gonna come from. It might not come for you. God it might not come for you. It might come for somebody else. So I can't expect you to give it back to me. And I can't look to say, I'm doing this to get something in return. Because then why give it?
And the thing is, God might have used you as a destiny helper for that person.
Yes.
That, and then now you want something in return. Like then God then takes away that blessing that he was going to bless you with for helping someone. Because now you're expecting a thank you from the earthly person instead of thank you from God. Right? Because he says we must not look for earthly gratitude, but we must always look up to him for him to give us whatever that we deserve to get back for the good that we have done. He says, don't grow weary of doing good, because in due time you shall reap.
Yeah. Now, but if you're that individual that always take, and always looking for something free, and never pay it forward and never get back, you become a leech. You basically is a leech. And what happens is, now if you're always taking, now nobody ain't gonna want to help you, because they're gonna see you that everybody gonna see you're using them, because you always take.
No, your true colors will come out.
Your true color. And so and if you are that individual that always looking for freebies and always looking to receive something, and never giving back and never helping anybody and never paying them forward, then you are robbing yourself
of a blessing as well.
Yeah, of a blessing, of convenience, of accountability, and of flexibility. If you're always looking for a freebie and not willing to pay for it,
you'll always be owing someone.
You always be owing someone, and you robbing yourself for convenience. Because, like, even with me, I love it because in my business I have a system that I pay for. I pay for it. I have a system, and I pay for that convenience.
Yes.
I pay for that accountability. So that because I'm in the community, where I can ask questions.
Yes, people give really, really good advice, really, really good information there, but it is not enough
It is
to
not
get
enough.
you to the next
Next level.
It can start you off.
It can start you off.
But you need somebody to now, that's why they upsell you in most cases.
Yes.
They give you just a little bit, that we can give you this, but if you pay this much, we can actually give you the whole thing.
Yes.
Because they know that some people are leeches. They
Yes.
want free things.
They want free things.
But quality comes at a cost. Yes.
Yeah. And so, and then you don't have that support system, because a lot of times you can get the information, but a lot of times you don't have the support. You don't have nobody to hold you accountable.
The mentoring and the coaching.
Yeah. And I do want to say that people don't pay for information, but they do pay for organization and application. And 'cause information you can get it from anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go to YouTube,
especially this nowadays.
you can listen
Google,
to podcasts.
yeah.
You can listen to
Yeah.
Chilling with the
But
Chaplins
how
podcast.
do you now
and get
implement it?
But how do you implement
Yeah,
it?
how do you execute?
How do you execute? So people pay for the application. People pay for the organization. People pay for the support from that community. That's what people pay. Information is free now. With Google, Dr. Google, YouTube University, or podcast, the different podcasts you can listen to, you can get information just to get you started.
I just want to add this quote, which is a very good quote. It says, if you didn't pay for the product, guess what? Then you are the product.
You are the product.
Remember that. If you didn't pay for it, you are the product. Because that means that the one that gave you has invested in you, and they expect a return from you somehow, right? And if you're a person who will refuse handouts, because we're fighting against handouts. They're nice,
But
yes. Don't overextend yourself. Don't go out of your way to always be a person who's always gimme. Because if you're a person who wants to pay full price or even pay something towards something that you're getting, then you retain your independence. You are free of obligation. You don't owe anybody anything. Nobody says, oh, he owes me a favor. Oh, he owes me one. Because guess what? You've paid your way around. Even when you have a service to offer for somebody, and I got you. No, don't worry. Can I just at least give you a tip? Give something back to show that you value, first of all, their service. And secondly, that you're not obligated to that person, because one day they can come to you and say, but I did this for you. And what do you have to say then? Because they really did something for you and you paid nothing for it.
Yeah. So, and on this week, as we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King, let's reflect over our life. And let's see what we took for granted.
Yes.
With our life, with not, paying it forward. Always looking for handouts, freebies, and seeing what we need to work on. What we need to work on today.
I mean, I guess an example for me, LJ, would be having been born in South Africa under the apartheid, regime, where the white people had supremacy over the black people, who were the majority of the country, where we were not allowed to even go to schools with white people. We are not allowed to go to schools with other racial, races. And when that actually was allowed, because remember, black education still is not quality. They still gave us secondary of everything as black people. So when we got that freedom through the Nelson Mandelas of this time, we then took it for granted that freedom is supposed to be free. Because I remember when they were actually, canvassing for votes, the black government, they were saying that we're going to get free education, free houses, free this, free that. Guess what? We got none of those things. None of those things. Yes, we got the little free houses, which we ended up having to bribe to get them. Guess what? Even today, school education is not free in South Africa. We're paying for every little thing. The fact that we were not allowed to even travel out of the country as South Africans, put us at disadvantage as South Africans. because we were enclosed, the borders were closed and we are not allowed to get out. The fact that I'm able to sit here in the United States in 2022 and speak to people all around the world makes me very privileged. I feel very privileged to be having to be able to have traveled and having been born in South Africa, because we were not offered those opportunities as Black people. You know, we are not allowed to do anything for that matter. So I don't take that privilege for granted. I don't take being in the United States of America for granted, because I know so many people actually die to come into this country. You know, and South Africa is one of those Mecca countries like the United States in Africa, where most people would die to get into South Africa. So some will ask, but why leave South Africa when people die to get into your country? You know? But when you, like what you said, when you are in that country, when you are a citizen of that country, you don't see how privileged you actually are to be a citizen of that country. So I guess we can agree together that from both of the countries that we come from, let's not take our freedom for granted.
Now, I do want to say this too, because you talk about the apartheid.
Yes.
And you talk about how, same thing, when we was in slavery, when we was coming out of slavery,
yes,
they promised us the 40 acres and a mule.
And what does that mean, 40 acres?
American dream.
Oh.
The 40 acres, you know, you got the 40 land, 40 acres and a mule, the cattle. So they promised us 40 acres and a mule, but they would get it. So, you know, but like I said now, and I don't mind, you know, it's okay. Because I'm willing to work for it. Because I'm grateful today that I'm able to have the freedom to pursue my 40 acres and the mule. I'm able to work for my 40 acres and the mule. That I deserve. That, you know, we sweat blood, slavery, lynching.
Maybe not us, but, you know, our
ancestors. We went through
taken from Africa by force.
We was happy in Africa.
We hope so.
We hope so. You know, we were minding our own business.
I think they were happy because, you know, Africa is one of the wealthiest
countries,
or continents rather, in the world. But of course, through colonization, things were stolen from the continent, you know, by the colonizers, and then they painted this Africa to be this poor and bad Africa, when they the ones who actually stole from the country and made the people so desperate for their help. The West.
Yeah. So, you know, and I deserve it, but I'm willing to work for it.
Yes.
And that's
because, but you know what? When you work for it, baby, you feel proud of yourself. That, you know what? I deserve that. I slept for 4 hours.
Yes.
For years. I grinded. I manifested what I have now, not through talk only, but through equity, through work, through going for those opportunities, through knocking on those doors. Not even sometimes knocking, through pushing through prayer, because they say push stands for pray until something happens. Some people pray for a minute and they're like, oh, God doesn't answer prayers, or God is late to answer. You're not doing it right. Change your prayer structure. Change your prayer. I laugh, baby. Change your prayer routine. Change what you say. Maybe you're just praying prayers that are not even reaching the ceiling, because you are now so, what's the word? You just, it's like a monologue. You know, you're not communicating with God, right? And God wants us to communicate with Him. It's not like a one-way talk show where you're going to put in a quarter and God brings out a Coca-Cola. No, sir. You know, you're going to put in something for something, right?
I agree. Now, but it just do bring this up, because you said something that is so critical.
Right.
About experience. That's why I do dislike anybody that don't work for them. They expect something and they don't work for it. You know, because or they get a reward and you didn't work for it. Because if you get something without working for it, then you won't appreciate what you've been through. But when you went through sweat, when you've been through the storm, when you gain that experience and you've been through the valley, when you overcome it and you finally get to success, you're able to appreciate success. And just like somebody that won the lottery.
Yeah.
Because they didn't work for the lottery. A lot of people go broke after 5 years after winning the lottery.
Because they have not developed enough to actually, understand how to actually maintain that kind of lifestyle, first of all, and to retain that money. And even to make that money come back and invest it and multiply it. Mm-hmm. They lose it all because they blow it on the wrong thing.
And that's why I'd rather work for mine. Yeah. Because if I work for
it. No, I would not mind. Lord, if you hear me right now, please, just $1 million will be fine with me. Just $1 million, Lord. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not greedy.
But yeah, that's why I don't mind working for it, because I know once I get it and achieve it, then I can appreciate it, what God has done for me. So
So I think as we close up, I just want to close in saying this. There was no
free lunch.
No free lunch, yes. No crown of thorns, no salvation.
That's good.
No death of our Lord Jesus Christ, no salvation.
No salvation.
Right? No fighting for no freedom fighters, no freedom. Right? So if you look at all this, there was sweat and tears in it. If there was no labor pains, there would be no baby. If Christ didn't allow himself to die for us, we wouldn't be saved. If the Nelson Mandelas, the Dr. Martin Luther Kings of this time did not lay down their lives for us and their families, because they lost touch with their families. These people spent time in prison. These people spent time in exile, running away from being murdered. Then we wouldn't call ourselves free. So I think as we close off, baby, it's rightful to say, let us understand that there is no free lunch.
No free lunch.
When somebody offers you something for free, offer them something back in return to show that you appreciate what they're doing for you.
And take it serious.
Take it serious.
Take it serious.
Because it takes something for something. Because yes, God is going to bring in destiny helpers our way. People who want to mentor us for free. But it doesn't mean that their mentorship is worth nothing. It actually could be worth thousands. But because God has brought them in our midst and in our path, then we got to appreciate that and honor that and honor their time and honor their gift.
And so today, I would like to ask you, to ask yourself today, what do you need to help you focus, and that will hold you accountable?
Yes.
Ask yourself that question today.
What will you need to hold yourself accountable?
What will you need to hold yourself accountable and help you focus?
To reach your
desired goals.
And because they won't just fall on your lap.
Yes. And then once you find out what you need, then be willing to invest in it. If you have to go to a mastermind to learn from other like-minded people, then go to a mastermind. If you need to hire a coach, then hire a coach. If you need to hire a mentor, then hire a mentor. Whatever you need, that's going to help you.
Or if you need to buy a book, a self-development, start there.
Start there.
A self-development book.
Start there. But
if you need to develop habits, because remember, even time is an investment, baby. Time is an investment.
Yes. So all I'm trying to say, be willing to pay for it.
Yes.
Be willing to invest in your success.
Yes.
Because that investment, that little investment that you are willing to pay for is going to be valuable to you.
Maybe not just to you as well, but to your future generation. Yeah.
So as we close and as we just want to celebrate this day in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., just like I said, work for whatever you get, work for. Be willing to work for it. Yes. Don't take life for granted because there's no free lunches. Yeah. And so as we close, we just want to give you ways how you can subscribe and follow us.
The good part.
The good
Listen, it might be for free to subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
But it actually costs us a lot to be live and be sharing these valuable nuggets with you. So as a way to pay it forward to us,
Yes.
why don't you just help us along, help the channel, and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
Hit the notification bell.
Yes.
Follow us on me, Instagram, at Lady Siza 1.
And at Get Inspired by LJ, as well as on YouTube. You can follow me or subscribe and hit the notification bell at Get Inspired by LJ on YouTube.
Yes, and you'll find us on all channels.
Chilling with the
Chilling
Chaplins.
with the Chaplins.
And you can follow us on and listen to the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Boy, we everywhere.
Yeah, and follow us on these different platforms, as well as give us a 5-star rating.
Come on now, and a review.
And write a review. It just helps us. Your review, your 5-star
comments.
rating, your comments, it goes a long way. It helps us to reach more people. And
why don't you just want these nuggets to reach more thousands of people?
thousands of people, yes.
Yeah, why not?
We want to be the #1 black couple podcast
In the world.
in the world. The #1. So help us to be the #1 black couple podcast in the world. Yes.
We put a lot of thought into all that we do.
Yes.
We don't take this and your listening in for granted.
Yes, we don't.
Everything that we do out of our whole heart.
Yes.
And we take our time. And so, just pay it forward to us. We love you
We
so
love you.
much. And
Yes.
we appreciate
We
each and
thank
every
you.
one of you for listening and tuning in.
Yes.
Till we see you again next week. Take care.
Take care.
God
See
bless
you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yo, it's your boy, LJ Chaplin, with Lady Siza, bringing to you Chilling with the Chaplins, where we deep dive, giving you practical concepts in ministry, business, relationship, and personal development. So we can take control of our life.